What's happening? Landlord from Alabama here, back with another video. And today, man, we finna talk about Dontario Drummon, the wide receiver coming straight out of Ole Miss. Got some talent that you just can't miss, so you know we gotta talk about him. Let's go. Okay, Big John Drummond, aka Drum, is 24 years old, coming out of Laurel, Mississippi, standing at 6'1", 215 pounds, and ran a 4.6 in the 40. He started his career in 2017 at Eastern Mississippi Community College, then transferred to Ole Miss in 2019. In JUCO, Drum was an NJCAA All-American in 2018, raking in 58 catches, 857 yards, and 11 touchdowns, and he helped lead his team to 2 national titles. And I could just imagine the quarterback talent that he was playing with probably wasn't that tremendous. It probably was pretty subpar. So that's still pretty impressive for him to accomplish all of this with a subpar quarterback. His first year with the Rebels in 2019, he started 9 out of 12 games with only 13 catches for 188 yards, but it was like 14 yards a catch, so at least the small catches that he was making was for pretty decent yardage. But at Ole Miss, Matt Corral was still a freshman, and he shared time with John Plumlee, so they were still pretty much trying to figure out the quarterback position. I'm sure that played a big part into the lack of production that Mr. Drummond had for his team. In the dreaded COVID year in 2020, he played 9 out of 10 games and reeled in 25 catches for 417 yards with 7 touchdowns. In 2021, last year, him and Matt Corral became deadly together. He reeled in 76 catches for over 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns in 12 games, where he led the whole team in receiving for the Rebels. Now let's go over a few of his strengths and some of his weaknesses. Now, I'm gonna cover the strengths first, and off the bat, they got him listed at 215, and I said it's straight cap. There's no way this player is only 215. He looks like he's at least about 225, 230. He got a real solid frame, and he looks like he's built to play in the SEC. He's really a YAC master. He runs with a lot of force and attitude. He's always fighting for the extra yardage, and he got some special vision and some nice balance. He's similar to a running back. Once you get the ball in his hand in space, he's doing a lot of damage with yards after the catch for sure. I'm pretty sure you're gonna need at least 2-3 players to bring this man down. He is a load. He's very solid and balanced, so it's gonna take a group effort, a tag team type effort to bring this man down, and he has some great vision. It seems like he always knew how to get open and exploit the defense and gain some extra yards. To me, his skill set really puts you in the mind of Treylon Burks. I kind of really wanted him to be in the Cowboys uniform, but he went to Tennessee. He really puts you in the mind of that player, or probably like a poor man's Deebo Samuel. They got the same kind of skill set, not just this tremendous receiver like a Devontae Adams or something, but he has a lot of other traits that you can use, and he's basically just more of a weapon than just a wide receiver. He has no problem with tracking the ball. I seen him make some spectacular catches, and he goes up strong with strong hands, bodying people up. It's almost like he's getting a rebound when it comes to 50-50 balls. He makes sure he gets in position and comes down with the catch. It's more of a 70 type percentage when it comes to the ball being in the air for him. He does come down with the ball more times than not. He got great body control. He's not the biggest burner. Of course, he got 4.6 speed, so he's not just gonna beat you on the fly route that much, but to me, he seems like he can be utilized in the slot very well. He can body up a lot of players, and he's one of those players that can keep the chains moving on a consistent basis. He's pretty sure-handed in my opinion. I know he got some little juggle drops, but those could be contributed to the quarterback or the circumstances. It's a lot of variables that come into drops, but his hands look like they was at least decent enough to keep the chains moving and be a consistent threat in the NFL. He looked very smooth. Nothing looks complicated out there for him on the field, man. He really does make it look easy. He's a smooth in and out of his breaks. He doesn't waste a lot of motion. He just gets the job done. He understands how to manipulate. He's a very crafty wide receiver. He's probably not the quickest or the fastest, but I feel like he can just trick and manipulate a DB to get open, especially down there in the red zone. Ideally, you'll probably like a player with his type of skill set to be catching wheel routes out the backfield. They had him motioning and doing reverses, so they really like to get the ball in his hands in open space and let him create off the run. He's a very good talent when it comes to that, man. He got a lot of attributes and traits that you like for a player to get these yards in open space. Throw some screens to him, throw some wheel routes to him. He good on the quick slant out the slot. It's a lot of ways that you can use him. Like I said before, he's much more of a weapon than just a regular wide receiver. Now let's get to the weakness category. Off the bat, we know that he ran a 4.6, and that's just not ideal type speed. That probably explains why he didn't get drafted, why he's an undrafted free agent. And if he would have ran a better 40 time, he probably would have been drafted much higher, or drafted at least in the third, fourth round, I believe, because he has all the other attributes. He's not that tall. That's another knock on him. Most of his weaknesses come in his physique, and most of them are physical. It's not really in his skill set. He's just not a blazer, a super fast player. He doesn't fit the prototype and physique that most NFL scouts looking for an NFL team. He really gonna have to expand on his route tree. He really didn't run a whole lot of different routes. It could be partially his fault, or it could be a lot on the OC. They probably just didn't ask him to do much. Not saying that he can't do it, but I didn't see him do a whole lot of different routes on film. So he could be a player that can grow like that. He could be dangerous when it comes to other routes, but we just don't have the proof on film, so we're gonna have to put this as a weakness as well. He gonna have a lot of room to grow. He's not just a pure wide receiver. Like I said, he could be a hybrid type player. You can just use him almost like a gadget type guy. I believe he probably could develop to be just a wide receiver threat, but off the bat, year one, out the gate, I don't see him just being a versatile type wide receiver in the slot like that. With him being in the slot, you really didn't see too many DBs walking up on him challenging, so we really just don't know if he can get off the line of scrimmage when DBs getting aggressive and trying to jam him off the line. We haven't seen much evidence of him just being able to beat those type of coverages. He did have a few bobble catches, a few double catches, and maybe that was concentration. I won't blame it all on him, but you do have to be more focused. I believe it probably was a focus issue more than just his catching ability as a whole, but he is gonna have to improve on that. You gotta reel in a lot of those catches. If the ball touch your hands, it's supposed to be a catch, like we used to say back in the day. But overall, I really feel like he should be able to get on this field at some point, at least make this team. I'm not saying he's gonna be a starter, but with the state of the wide receiver position for the Cowboys right now, we are at dire need. We are missing Michael Gallup. You know, Jalen Tolbert had a small injury. James Washington got an injury. So we can use a wide receiver. Now, outside of his physical limitations, I feel like he might have a battle with seniority. We got a few wide receivers ahead of him, like Noah Brown, Semi Fehoko, and we got TJ Vasher, a couple of these other players. He gonna have to battle them to the death to be able to even make this roster. But I like the talent. I hope he can make it. I hope he gets his chance. But that's all I got for you today, man. Just holla at your boy, Landlord from Alabama, with the same handle on all social media. And like I say, 1K, one love, Cowboys Nation. Let's go.